welcome to Sport Pen. Think about the kind of team that becomes more than just a champion, the kind that really gets etched into the cultural memory. That's what we're diving into today. The 1985 Chicago Bears. We're going beyond the scores to explore the pivotal moments, that relentless drive, and just the sheer brilliance on the field that turned them into a sports legend. For you, we're unpacking what truly defines greatness in sports and how certain iconic teams, well, they rewrite the story itself.
It really is remarkable how a team can capture the collective imagination like the '85 Bears did. Their story is such a testament to how many different elements need to click.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just a flash of the pan, was it? The foundation for that incredible season, it was laid years before through some really exceptional drafting.
Oh, definitely.
You look at 1983, landing Covert, Galt, and Richard Dent. That's almost like a cheat code for building a team.
Right.
And then they followed up in '84 with Gale, Rivera, Wilbur Marshall. I mean, it's almost unheard of for a team to nail 2 consecutive drafts quite like that.
Yeah, and what's so interesting about those drafts isn't just the sheer number of, Pro Bowl caliber players they found, but how those guys filled critical needs just perfectly, created this powerful synergy really early in their careers.
Right.
And it's worth remembering, later Bears drafts didn't quite hit that same mark, which really just underscores how special those early '80s picks were. There was this real buzz around those rookies, even if a coach like Buddy Ryan, who kind of preferred veterans, maybe took some convincing to actually play them.
Yeah, heard about that.
But talent like that tends to force its way onto the field.
And sort of overseeing all of this, you had the legendary George Halas. Here's a man, late '90s. It's coinciding with the team's centennial season.
Yeah.
And he's got the Super Bowl clearly in his sights. You can almost feel a sense of destiny, can't you?
You definitely can. Halas's long shadow, the legacy he built, that was the backdrop. Then you bring in Buddy Ryan in '78. Defensive coordinator, he was the architect behind that intimidating 46 defense.
A famous 46.
Right. A system that really hit its stride by '81, which, lined up perfectly with Mike Singletary emerging as this dominant force right in the middle.
Now, the dynamic between Ryan and the head coach, Mike Ditka, that's a whole story in itself. 2 huge personalities.
Oh, boy.
And they definitely had their moments, didn't they? That halftime during the Dolphins game when they were actually losing. The stories from that are legendary.
Absolutely legendary. Their clashing styles, that famous sideline spat. It really highlights the intense pressure cooker that team was operating in.
Yeah.
Yet, despite all that, Ditka mostly let Ryan handle the defense, right? He seemed to acknowledge Ryan's, genius on that side of the ball.
True.
And it's fascinating to remember Ditka's early prediction way back in '82 saying they'd reach the Super Bowl within 3 years. He had this clear vision, wanted to build tough, physical, Bear football.
And it wasn't just the coaches pulling the strings. You had key figures in player personnel, like Finks early on, who drafted McMahon and Payne.
Foundational pieces.
Exactly. Yeah. And later, Ditka got more involved in drafting, too. It really felt like a team effort behind the scenes.
Precisely. All these pieces, the amazing drafts, the iconic figures like Halas, Ditka, Ryan, the smart personnel moves, they built this incredibly sturdy base. And right at the heart of it all was that innovative, disruptive 46 defense.
The 46. Okay, it's become almost mythical in football history. Can you break it down for us? What made it so different, so effective back then?
Well, the thing that made the 46 so revolutionary was how it just broke from the norm,
Right.
Traditional defensive setups, it was specifically engineered to just dismantle those common 2 wide receiver formations that were everywhere in the '80s.
Yeah.
The core idea was to overload one side of the O-line, the weak side basically covering both guards and the center.
Oh, gotcha.
This created immediate mismatches, made standard blocking assignments incredibly difficult. Suddenly, the offense had more defenders than they expected right in one spot.
So instant chaos right at the snap.
Exactly. And the weak side defensive end, he'd often line up maybe a yard or 2 outside the tackle, creating this great one-on-one pass rush situation. Then you had the linebackers on the strong side, the Jack and Charlie LBs, they called them, usually on the tight end side, ready for the run or maybe to blitz or drop back.
So versatile roles there.
Very. The overall strategy was just relentless pressure, often sending 5, 6, 7, even 8 guys after the QB.
Wow.
And they weren't afraid to mix in zone blitzes to confuse things even more for the line and the quarterback.
It sounds like the quarterback just never had a moment's peace. And I remember hearing about the cornerbacks playing super tight coverage, too.
Oh, absolutely critical. The corners played what's called bump and run and man-free coverage.
Okay, what's that mean exactly?
Think of it like the cornerback physically jamming the receiver right at the line of scrimmage, disrupting their route timing.
Right. Takes away the quick throws.
Exactly. Made it much harder to attack the 46 quickly. It was a defense built on just overwhelming the offense before they could even get going. It's worth noting, though, while it was incredibly effective then, you rarely see the pure 46 today. Offenses adapted, more spread formations, multiple receivers stretching the field horizontally.
Makes sense. And it wasn't just the X's and O's with the 46, was it? Buddy Ryan instilled this, intimidating mindset, real physicality.
Oh, absolutely. Ryan cultivated this culture of just relentless aggression, hard-hitting, playing right up to the edge of the rules, maybe sometimes a little over.
Maybe.
The main goals were simple. Shut down the run, period. And constantly harass the quarterback, make the offense feel physically uncomfortable, maybe even a little intimidated.
It does make you wonder how that defense would fare against today's athletes. The speed, the agility across the league now is just different.
That's a really interesting thought experiment. I mean, the core philosophy, relentless pressure, that's still valuable, right?
Yeah.
But the specific alignments, the tactics of the 46, they'd likely need, significant changes to handle the speed and complexity of modern offenses. You see defensive ends today who are practically as fast as receivers, linebackers built like tanks, safeties who can blitz effectively from anywhere. It's just a different athletic world.
So we've got this incredible foundation, the defensive mastermind, this revolutionary defense. Now let's walk through the journey of the 85 season itself. It wasn't just a smooth ride to the Super Bowl, right? There were some key moments.
That's right. The 84 season was huge. Making that playoff run, reaching the NFC Championship game, that was a crucial step.
Even though they lost that one.
Exactly. It showed the talent was there. They were close. That experience probably fueled their mindset going into 85, a real feeling like, okay, this is our time.
And when 85 kicked off, you could almost feel something was different. That Week 3 game against the Vikings, McMahon, injured, comes off the bench.
Oh, that game.
Leads that crazy comeback win. That felt like a real turning point, didn't it? Like the team's resolve just solidified right there.
That game absolutely took on a legendary quality, showcased McMahon's toughness, his leadership, sent a powerful message about their resilience, their ability to overcome anything.
Yeah.
Of course, the other pivotal moment, for different reasons, was that single regular season loss to the Dolphins.
Right. Ending the perfect season dream. And that's the game with the Dick Ryan halftime show we mentioned.
That's the one. Intense stuff.
But looking back now, that loss almost feels like maybe it was necessary. Like they needed that one stumble to become truly unstoppable afterwards.
That's a really compelling way to look at it. Could have been a wake-up call, maybe got rid of any complacency creeping in, refocused them.
Because what came next?
Their playoff run was just dominant isn't even a strong enough word. Back-to-back shutouts against the Giants and the Rams. The defense was suffocating.
Just unbelievable performances.
Utterly suffocating.
And then Super Bowl XX against the Patriots. It felt less like a game and more like a coronation.
Yeah, 46-10. A complete dismantling.
And that image, the defense carrying Buddy Ryan off the field, that's just etched in football history.
Icon.
With Richard Dent, an 8th-round pick, winning Super Bowl MVP. Amazing.
That Super Bowl performance was the ultimate exclamation point. Everything they'd built towards. A definitive statement. And the whole cultural phenomenon around them, the Super Bowl shuffle.
Oh, the shuffle.
Recording that before they even won. The sheer audacity. It just added to their whole mystique.
Speaking of iconic figures, that 85 team was just overflowing with them. Let's talk about some key players. Got to start with Walter Payton. Sweetness.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
Legendary work ethic. Remember the story about the helicopter to training camp?
Peyton was just the heart and soul of that offense. His versatility, his relentless effort, unmatched. It's almost tragic he didn't get a Super Bowl touchdown. Ditka himself has talked about that being a huge regret.
Yeah, I remember that.
And his later life, his desire to be remembered, it really speaks volumes about the impact he had.
Then you had Jim McMahon, the punky QB, drafted by Jitka, that rebellious image. But he was the glue, wasn't he? Held that team together, navigated the offense-defense dynamic, and always seemed to deliver in the big moments, like that Vikings comeback.
His leadership was undeniable. He had that swagger, that confidence that just spread through the whole team, battled injuries constantly, but he was a winner. Teammates rallied around him. Yeah. It's interesting, too, thinking about his later career, mentoring a young Brett Favre even.
Right. On defense, you had Samurai Mike, Mike Singletary. The eyes, the intensity, the absolute heart of that 46 defense. Defensive Player of the Year in '85. That says it all.
Singletary was the living embodiment of that defense's spirit.
Yeah.
Ferocious, control the middle of the field. That nickname, Samurai Mike, it just captured his focus perfectly.
And Richard Dent, the relentless pass rusher we mentioned, leads the league in sacks, becomes Super Bowl MVP. What a journey for an 8th-round pick.
Dent's emergence was so critical. His ability to consistently pressure the QB just wrecked offensive game plans. He blew away expectations for a late-round guy.
And we absolutely cannot forget the refrigerator, William Perry.
The fridge.
A defensive lineman lining up at fullback, scoring touchdowns against the Packers and in the Super Bowl. He became a true cultural phenomenon.
Perry's unique role, his huge personality, it captured the whole country's imagination. He brought this sense of fun, almost theatrics, to this incredibly dominant, serious team.
Then you had guys like Dan Hampton, the Danimal on that D-line. Versatile, relentless,
Cornerstone.
and apparently humble enough to sit out the Super Bowl shuffle.
Hampton was fantastic. Great against the run, great rushing the passer. His versatility let Buddy Ryan get even more creative with the 46.
And Wilbur Marshall, that incredibly athletic linebacker, getting interceptions and sacks in the same season, a real wild card.
Marshall's athleticism was off the charts. A true game changer, could impact the play in so many ways. No surprise he became the highest paid defensive player when he left.
And Willie Gault, bringing that Olympic speed to wide receiver, led the team in receiving yards in the Super Bowl. He could absolutely fly.
Gault's speed was crucial. Stretched the field, kept defenses honest, couldn't just load up against Peyton. You could see that track speed on the football field.
It is important to remember, though, the physical toll that era of football took.
Yeah.
The sheer brutality of the 80s game. And the health struggles some players faced later on. It's a stark reminder of the demands.
That's a really crucial point. The game was played differently, much more physically punishing back then. The long-term consequences for these amazing athletes were often, sadly, quite significant.
So why? Why do the '85 Bears still hold this almost mythical status? Why are they still so revered?
I think, number one, it's the sheer utter dominance. They always come up and talks about the greatest NFL team ever, period.
Right.
They kind of instilled this greatness or nothing mentality in Chicago sports fans, set this incredibly high bar. It was just this unique mix. Unbelievable talent, Ryan's groundbreaking 46 defense, and a roster full of unforgettable, larger-than-life personalities.
And maybe that single dominant Super Bowl win actually cemented their legend in a unique way. It avoids those endless debates you get with multiple championships. It's just that team, that perfect, almost perfect season.
That's a really insightful point. Winning more might have, in a strange way, diluted the singular impact, the mythical quality of '85.
Yeah.
The fact they didn't repeat, despite staying strong defensively for years, it just adds to their unique story. The '85 Bears remain this sort of untouchable gold standard that other great teams get measured against.
And you can't really talk '85 Bears without at least mentioning the Packers' rivalry during that time.
Oh, yeah.
Some truly lopsided wins, like 61-7.
Yeah.
And introducing the fridge on Monday Night Football against them. Ditka's dislike for Green Bay just poured fuel on that fire.
That rivalry was intense, and the Bears definitely had the upper hand then. Smashing their arch rivals like that only cemented the '85 legend even further for Bears fans.
It really was just a special, unique moment in time. This confluence of amazing talent, brilliant coaching, and just this unwavering determination. The 1985 Chicago Bears, a team that still fascinates.
Absolutely. Their story is a powerful reminder of how a team can go beyond the sport itself and become this lasting, beloved part of cultural history.
So here's something to think about. Considering their incredible dominance and those unique circumstances around just the one Super Bowl win, how might the legacy of the 1985 Bears be different if they had won multiple championships? Or maybe if the rules of the game back then were the same as they are today? Definitely something to consider. Thanks for listening to Sport Pen.